Hey everyone, welcome to Marketing for Designers podcast. I'm your host, Masha Coyne, a messaging strategist and a copywriter for the interior design industry. I've been marketing for what feels like forever in my past career at some of the biggest global firms like KPMG and Deloitte. Today, I write website copy for designers using my signature voice of customer framework. If you're a designer looking to up your marketing game and attract premium clients, this podcast is for you. Each week on the show, we're going to be talking all things marketing, from branding to messaging to social media, SEO, and so much more. So you can have all the tools you need to grow your business and attract your dream clients. Welcome back to another episode of Marketing for Designers podcast. I am so happy that you're here today. Today's going to be a shorty episode, but it's a really, really good one. I wanted to talk about the 3 things you want to do before a website rebrand or a website copywriting revamp. So maybe you're starting to feel like your website doesn't really reflect your brand anymore, or maybe you don't like it, or maybe the messaging doesn't align with your audience, or maybe you're already deep in the planning stages of a website rebrand, or maybe a complete rebrand. And you might have started looking at web designers to consider your options, or maybe you're looking at website templates. Maybe that's the route that you wanting to take. But there are a couple of things that you really have to figure out before you even think about hiring a website designer, if this is what you're doing, or if you decide to tackle it yourself, to DIY it. So this is true for both the visual design and the copy on your site, because your website is typically one of the first touch points with a potential client. A potential client has with your brand. And it's not just about looking beautiful and having, high resolution, beautiful photos, professionally done photos, and all the things, all the visual elements of your website. But it's also about being crystal clear on who you're talking to, why they should choose you, and what they stand to gain by working with you, aka the value that you bring to the table. So in this episode today, I want to break down the 3 essential things that you want to get clarity on before you start rebranding. And these are honestly foundational pieces, and they'll save you so much headache down the road. So by the end of this quick episode, you'll know exactly where to start and what you need to plan and put into place before you start working with a designer or DIY your website. So let's dive in. Number one thing that you want to do before a website rebrand, you want to get clear on your audience. Even if you're working with a service provider or like a marketing strategist or a branding strategist, whoever you're hiring to help you with your brand, the very first step they'll always go through is they'll start by understanding your audience. This is where everything starts, because at the end of the day, the messaging that you're creating, it has to resonate with the right people. It has to attract the right client and repel the wrong client. So where you want to start is by truly understanding who your audience is. Who do you want to work with? And I'm talking about going beyond just demographics. So I'm talking about diving into psychographics. Like, what are their pain points? What are their desires? What are they looking for? What kind of transformation do they want in their home? We also want to look at what frustrates them. How do they make decisions? What's important to them when they're looking for an interior designer? What type of objections and hesitations pop up for them? What kind of questions do they have? You may already have all of this information because you've worked with clients in the past. You are working with clients at the moment. So think about all the questions that popped up in the discovery sessions and throughout the project. What kind of things, what kind of audience insights can you collect about them? So you want to get clear on this. And this is the reason why when I write website copy for my clients, this is the reason why I do client interviews. I get into I really get to know your clients and understand what drives them, what motivates them, what are they scared of, what it is that they want, how do they make decisions, how when I interview clients, I basically ask them, what else did you consider when deciding to hire this specific interior designer? Why did you hire them? What was it that attracted you? So you want to get clear on all of these audience insights, because they will help you when you're ready for a website rebrand, when you're ready for the copywriting part of your website. This is going to be the number one thing that will drive all of the messaging, all of the copy. Because what we want for our messaging on our website to do is to attract the right clients, to engage them. And the reason why we need so much information, and we use things like voice of customer research is a copywriting term, and it's basically client interviews, surveys, basically all the different ways we can research the audience and understand them a little bit better. And it's absolutely foundational for actually writing copy for the website, because the copy needs to resonate emotionally. And to get that data, in order for our message to resonate emotionally, we need to collect the data and then apply it to the website. So put it through the lens of what our audience cares about. So that's number one. Number one is getting clear on your audience. Number two is getting clear on your unique value proposition. So and you might have heard that term before. Sometimes it's called unique value proposition. Other times it's called unique selling proposition. So UVP or USP, but it's essentially your value proposition is the main reason a prospect should hire you. It's also what determines whether your website visitors will actually continue scrolling on your website and explore the rest of the site, the rest of the pages that you've got on your website. It's a clear statement that explains how you solve your clients' problems, and, very important, what sets you apart from everyone else who does what you do. So, what is that thing that sets you apart from other interior designers? And your unique value proposition explains why clients should choose you over anyone else. And it should be absolutely instantly clear on your website. The reason why I'm saying that you have to get clear on your UVP before you hire a web designer, or even start looking at how you're going to implement your website, whether it's going to be a template, or you're going to do it yourself, or you're going to hire somebody. So your unique value proposition explains why clients should choose you over anyone else, and it should be instantly clear on your website. This is extremely important. That's why before you even start looking at web design, you want to get clarity on this first, because this is one of the first things that your website visitors will see when they land on your website. So think of it kind of like your signature, what it is that you're known for, or you want to be known for, that only you can deliver in this unique way. It could be your design philosophy, it could be your process, it could be your style. It could be anything, but it's gotta help you stand out. So common mistakes that you want to avoid when it comes to creating your unique value proposition is to avoid vague statements like, I create beautiful spaces. Every designer does that. You know that. So you want to be a lot more specific. Your unique value proposition is not a list of services. So I hope it is not just a laundry of all the things that you do, all the things that you offer to your clients, but instead you want to focus on the why behind these services. So many designers make the mistake of trying to kind of appeal to everyone, but you'll be much more effective when you're being laser focused on who it is that you serve and why, what the why behind your services. So how do you define your unique value proposition? That's probably one of the most common things that my clients and I talk about when they come to me and they're like, well, I'm not really sure what's different about what I do, or what is that thing that sets me apart, because it all kind of sounds like what everybody else is doing. So here's where you want to start. You want to think about what your clients say about working with you. Obviously, it'll come from your conversations with your clients. Maybe it's from your discovery session. Maybe it's from all the touch points with your clients that you have throughout the length of the project. So what do they rave about the most? And when I interview clients, I get to hear these things firsthand, and that helps me help my clients to craft that statement from their own words in their own voice. So maybe it's your attention to detail, or maybe it's the fact that you're listen and you can grasp the vision that they want, or maybe it's your efficient process, or maybe it's your eye for blending styles. It could be honestly anything. So definitely listen to your clients. What are they saying? What keeps coming up? And then reflect on your own approach. What do you consistently do that others may not? The way to do that is what I've suggested in the past for designers is write out your entire process. Write out your process from start to finish, all the steps that are involved in your process, and then right beside it, create another column and go a little bit deeper. Go a little bit deeper in terms of, well, does everybody do what you do? Other things that I'm not mentioning because it seems like second nature to me. Because to us, when we're too close to our own business, we seem to just forget or think, well, everybody's doing that. Not everybody, though. You want to write out your process in like as much detail as you can, because chances are there's a step there that not everybody is doing, and that could potentially set you apart. That could be your differentiator, your unique value proposition. So maybe it's your ability to simplify the design process, or maybe it's how you blend high end with kind of low end, or like practicality for busy families. So think about all the things that you do, and the things that only you can do. And if you're completely stuck, take a look at your client testimonials and the feedback that your clients have given. Maybe you do an exit survey, or maybe it's just the testimonials that you collect. Look for patterns in the language that your clients use to describe you. Oftentimes, if you see that clients are repeating the same thing over and over again, chances are it's important. Chances are it probably is your differentiator. So use that to your advantage. The one thing that I want to mention about coming up with this UVP statement is that it should be instantly clear to your audience when they land on your website, because it's going to be above the fold. It should be absolutely clear to your audience who it is that you serve and why they should choose you. So if a potential client cannot understand immediately what makes you different, like we're talking about in the first 5 seconds, then you've lost them. Then you probably sound like every other designer. And when doing that, when crafting that statement, I'm sure you've heard this saying before, clear over clever. It's a famous copywriting phrase, but it's so true. So go for clarity over something that sounds cute or witty or clever or different, because I feel like it's our human nature to come up with this statement that sounds clever because you don't want it to sound like everybody else. But if you're too clever, and you're compromising clarity. So don't try to sound too clever or use jargony things. So focus on being direct and very transparent. Number three is getting clear on the benefits your audience get from working with you. So here's what I was saying earlier, the value that you bring to the table. So it's not enough to just list all the services under kind of your interior design portfolio of services. You don't want it to look like a laundry of services. Your audience needs to know how their lives or their homes will improve after working with you. People want to know what's in it for them. They're asking, how will my life be better if I choose this specific designer? And benefits, when you list benefits tap into your client's emotions, desires, and pain points. It's truly what drives their decision making. One thing I want to draw your attention to is there's this concept, benefits over features. So while it often relates to the product-based businesses, it's very much applicable here to a service-based business like interior design. So here's the difference between features and benefits when it comes to interior designers. So features are the specifics of your process or your services. So things like you do space planning, and you do project management, and you source furniture and product procurement and renderings, whatever that may be. These are your features. These are what you do. But the benefits, which is what I want you to focus on and get clarity on before you start your website redesign project, benefits are the why. we're talking about the transformation that happens for your client. So things like a home that feels cohesive, a stress-free design process, or a space that makes daily living easier and more enjoyable. These are all the why. These are all the benefits that your client get when they hire an interior designer. So an example may be a feature, like a feature or a type of service is you do custom design solutions. And I feel like you've heard that before. Every designer uses that phrase. But the benefit is a home that reflects your personality and functions perfectly for your family. So see, there's a slight difference. We're saying the same thing because custom design solution is the home that reflects your personality, it's custom to the client. But we're rephrasing it. We're reframing it from sounding like a feature into a benefit. So the question that you might have is, how do you identify the benefits that you provide? And all you need to do is think about the end result of your work. Like, what are you trying to do? What do you do? What's the end result of all the work that you do? After you finish a project, what is the outcome for your client? Is it a beautifully designed home, or is it the peace of mind that comes to knowing that their space is functional and stress-free, and you can find everything in their own spots where things belong, and there's enough space for everything and everyone, and nothing is out of place. And when your family stays over, you're hosting dinners, your space can accommodate everything or everyone. That's benefits. Features is the beautiful furniture and easy to navigate layout. But benefits is completely, it's about the transformation that you create in your clients' lives. So consider your clients' pain points, what the problems that they're trying to solve, because they come to you because they have a problem. That's what we're trying to solve for. And the benefits should speak to how you alleviate those issues and the pain points and the problems that the clients bring to you. So maybe start by asking yourself, what are the emotional payoffs for your client? Are you making their life easier? Are you helping them host friends and family with confidence? Are you giving them a retreat from the chaos of life? Whatever that may be. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples when it comes to listing your benefits. So here's one. We're talking about time savings here. So here's one. You get your weekends back while we handle every detail. See, instead of just saying, time savings, you're saying you get your weekends back while we handle everything. Here's another one about the stress-free process. No more design overwhelm. We take care of everything from concept to completion. Here's another one. We create spaces that feel uniquely yours, blending style with the personal touches that make it feel like home. See, we could have just said custom home solutions or custom design to your life, but instead we're saying we create spaces that feel uniquely yours, blending style with the personal touches that make it feel like home. And here's one more. Imagine coming home to a space that's both beautiful and functional, where everything has its place and your day-to-day life just flows. See, when you list benefits, it creates this vivid imagery in somebody's head. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to help them visualize themselves working with you and the transformation that they're hoping to achieve. But the one caveat I'd like to mention here is that you want to make sure that the benefits of your services are actually the things that your ideal clients care about. It's kind of an obvious one, but it's an important one. At the end of the day, you want to attract a very specific type of client, and your clients have very specific things that they want. So you want to make sure that all the messaging that you're creating for your website and for your marketing, that it speaks to their pain points, their wants, and their needs. So that's that. So let's reiterate the 3 things that you want to have figured out way before you start your website redesign and rewrite project. You want to get, number 1, clear on your ideal audience. You want to get clear on your unique value proposition. That's number 2. And number 3, you want to get clear on the benefits of working with you. I hope you love this short episode. Let me know if you do. Hop onto my Instagram, masha.copywriter, and let me know if you liked it, or leave a review on this episode. Thanks so much. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Marketing for Designers. This is Masha Cohen signing off. See you next week.